And welcome to the Strangely Specific Movie Awards. I'm your host, Drew D'Amelia of Drew and a Review, and we have a fun episode for you today. We're outdoors, we're having fun. I'm saying we. Who's with me?
It is I, Kesha.
Nick, for the last time. We all know you're secretly Kesha, but you need to continue the masquerade when we're doing the podcast, okay?
Sorry, I was in the wrong persona. I'm Nick.
All right, cool. Good to have you back, Nick.
Thanks.
Because, of course, a regular here on the podcast. And I think we're going to have some fun today with these awards. You ready to give out some awards?
You betcha.
Okay, let's start with the first one. We have something that's, I'm going to admit, it's a bit complicated. Best Norm. Okay, so our nominees are Norm of the North.
You're bringing it. You're nominating it again.
And Fargo. Now, hold on. I don't even remember. We nominated Norm of the North before?
Yeah, it was best relationship between a bear and a and like a peacock, a bird.
Yeah,
of
that's
some
right.
sort.
That's right. So Norm of the North has the distinguished honor of being nominated twice. Wow. But yes, I mean, I can't do Best Norm and not include Norm of the North. And do you remember Norm and Fargo?
I recently watched Fargo. Was Norm Frances McDormand's husband?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect that you recently watched Fargo. And you recently watched Norm of the North, of course.
Absolutely not. I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
Okay, good.
Oh, I've seen it. I meant neither have I, as in I haven't watched it recently. I have
Okay,
unfortunately seen it.
Okay.
I don't think it's okay. It's an okay movie.
All right. So the only parameters is it has to have someone named Norm.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So
And I will put my foot down. We're not going to redefine norm. It's like, oh, like a milieu? No.
not Norman, only Norm.
Norman is acceptable if they primarily go by norm. So
Like-
not paranormal.
Not Psycho. Norman Bates.
Does he go by norm?
I don't know. Maybe in his spare time when he's talking to the skeleton of his mom.
I feel like he's known as Norman Bates, so it probably doesn't count.
Okay.
That is interesting. Should we expand it to Normans? But I feel like that makes it especially challenging.
really
It's like,
opens
it's
it
got to be a
up.
norm.
Okay.
It's got to be a norm.
All right. Did Cheers have a movie?
I don't think so.
That's
but
the
yes,
only other Norm I can think of.
I also thought of Cheers. Now, here's the thing. We don't necessarily have to limit this to movies. That's how I've been thinking about it.
It is called the Strangely Specific Movie.
I was just
Awards.
thinking about it like, oh, wait.
We do have to limit it.
Yeah. So it kind of wrote ourselves into a corner there. We
little
could just
bit.
ignore it.
No. If we're not opening up to TV, maybe we should open it up to Norman. I don't think it's that slippery a slope. Not as slippery as adding TV.
That's true, but I'll say this much. I like keeping the nominees at around 3 to keep things simple. And if we open it up to Norman, I'd want to give it to Paranorman and Psycho. And that'd be 4.
4 isn't that bad. It's only 1 extra than your usual.
That's a Pandora's box too, though, you know?
I just...
I know. I really like Paranorman.
I like Psycho.
How about this? We'll keep it Norm for now, but maybe one day we'll specifically do Normans. No norms allowed.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can just make that the next award.
There you go.
Maybe we should say that for another episode, though.
Sure,
For now, we're gonna
sure.
stick with norms. I do like what you're getting at, though. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right.
What do you think is the best norm, though?
Just from my viewing experience, I'm going to have to go with Fargo.
Yeah, me too.
But let's talk about why.
Norm from Norm of the North sucks mighty ass.
But is that because he's so poorly written or because he's a terrible character? Or
Nothing.
what?
There's nothing about him as compelling as the barely display as the character that barely shows up in Fargo.
Yeah, that guy is just super compelling. His whole like dream is just having one of his little paintings on a stamp.
Yeah. and he's a really supportive husband.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to the Coen brothers writing, obviously, that he really doesn't show up that much and yet is so memorable. And yet Norm from Norm of the North is the
in the whole
main
movie.
character. I don't find myself daydreaming about him.
Are you daydreaming about Norm from Fargo?
Well, how do you describe daydreaming, but when it's nightmares? That might be what I do with Norm
I
of the
mean,
North.
to be fair, that character actor, I forgot his name, the guy who plays Norm.
Rob
has
Schneider?
No.
Oh,
if it was-
the other Norm.
I was like, if Rob Schneider was in Fargo, I'll kill myself.
Oh, God.
The Coen brothers would never allow that atrocity. But I was going to say the character actor that plays Norm in Fargo plays a lot of scary characters. Like he's played a cult member. He's played the Zodiac Killer. He's played a lot of freaky guys. So I'd have nightmares about him potentially.
That is interesting. But to be fair, Rob Schneider has had basically all the same roles.
He's been the Zodiac Killer?
Yeah, twice, actually.
Oh, yeah.
In the Norm of the North movies.
It turns out a polar bear is sending letters to newspapers being like, I will kill a busload of children.
And listen, Nick, I don't want to break your heart because I know you really had a lot of respect for the first movie. But if you did not know, there's basically been a sequel every year to Norm of the North. So I think we're at 4 movies right now.
So you're serious? You're not fucking with me?
I'm not fucking with you. It is now one of those awful direct-to-video franchises.
Oh my god!
If you thought-
Is Rob Schneider still in it, or did
No.
they not afford him? They
No.
couldn't afford Rob Schneider.
No, I'll say this much. I haven't seen anything other than the first movie, but based on watching a trailer, when you watch the first Norm of the North movie, you go, wow, this is the bottom of the barrel. This is really bad. And then you watch the trailer, and it's kind of inspiring because you're like, whoa, it can be so much worse.
So did the animation drop in quality too?
Everything's worse. It's
Holy
it's
shit.
amazing. It's like the magic carpet ride in Aladdin, that sense of wonder,
But in a sewer?
but for horror.
Okay, I see.
Like, I didn't know this kind of hell existed on Earth.
Wow.
It's truly
I
amazing.
can show you damnation.
Can show you the norm. Oh boy, I'm going to hell for that.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna go ahead and give it to Fargo, huh?
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's cool. And listen, I'm gonna put that in the bank of awards. Let's
The
do Norman
Normans.
at a certain point.
Okay.
But congratulations for now to Fargo for winning the best Norm.
Good work, Coen brothers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to devil's advocate here. Like, is there any way Norm of the North could be better? No, I can't.
Absolutely not.
Maybe I could think of an argument, but my brain won't let me. Like, no, don't. Like, that's poisonous. Like, it's the same part of my brain that doesn't jump into fire.
It's like, no. Instinctually, you go against it. Your animal
Yeah,
brain.
yeah. It's like a tribal instinct to not praise Norm of the North. But all right, moving right along to our second award. You might like this one, or maybe not.
All right.
Best Clown in a Hospital.
Okay. I'm going to assume one of them is Joker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you come up with another one? And I will say this. I know you can.
Wait, Patch Adams.
Yes. Those are the 2 nominees.
Okay.
Anything else? I don't feel like nominating The Dark Knight 2 because, I mean, yes, there was a
You mean
clown
The
in a
Dark
hospital. As The Dark Knight, comma, TOO.
Oh, okay. The Dark Knight 2. Can we nominate it anyway? Because I feel like it is applicable.
It's definitely applicable, but I feel like
It's 2 Jokers. We don't want that many Jokers.
I mean, I guess, whatever, fine. Let's do it.
Okay.
I guess we're capping there.
All right.
So we have The Dark Knight, Joker, and Patch Adams. I have not seen Patch Adams, but I know
I
what
saw it a
happens
while
in
ago, and I saw the real Patch Adams in real life, and I took a picture with him.
Oh, that's cool. I
And we were
remember
both
that.
picking our noses together.
So, all right, you've met Patch Adams. Does that influence your decision at all?
No.
Okay. Well, what do you think gets it? Because
We're saying best clown in a hospital.
best clown in a hospital.
And best could be anything.
It could be anything. I mean, off the top of my head, I haven't even seen Patch Adams, but I feel like I like the concept of that clown in the hospital.
He
the
was an
best.
actual doctor also.
He was, and he was a force for good.
Yes.
Where the other, well, okay.
He went to children's cancer wards to cheer him up, and I feel like that scene in The Joker is kind of like a parody of that. Like, what if Patch Adams was a fucking murderer?
But that's the thing, though. If you think about it, Patch Adams had every intention of being good in the movie Patch Adams,
Yeah.
being in the hospital as a clown. So did Joker in Joker. Because Joker wasn't in that hospital to murder people or fuck up people's days. He
No,
was there.
He was trying to do.
Yeah,
the
he was
right
actually trying to bring joy to the children. He just accidentally dropped his gun. So,
thing. That was the best scene in that whole movie.
frankly, I think he had good intentions.
But I don't think that makes him the best.
No, and I think Patch Adams' intentions were much better.
Yes.
I mean, Joker was there to cheer them up. Patch Adams was there, I believe, to try to cure them with
Yeah.
laughter. So, yeah, I think Patch Adams wins out in that respect.
Okay, but let's just talk about The Dark Knight, even though I
Yes.
know it won't win.
It could.
Because he blows up the hospital.
He could, but listen, I mean, that's fair.
And he was in a nurse's outfit. That was an interesting choice.
I will say, in terms of if we're defining the most memorable clown in a hospital, honestly, I think I would still have to give it to Joker.
It'd be between the two Jokers.
Because I haven't seen Patch Adams, so maybe that is memorable. But
I mean, it's the whole movie. It's not just a scene.
yeah, which counts. I mean, every scene that he is a clown in a hospital counts.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick something that I think about the most, it's so short and sweet in Joker that he's
Yeah.
just doing this pathetic dance and accidentally drops a gun. And it's like, oh no! Like,
And everyone in the room freezes in horror.
it's like it's perfect dark comedy. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
So really, in that respect, I mean, just intent aside, that was pretty good. I like that a lot, and I think I like that even more than The Dark Knight because I mean Heath Ledger is great, and really the only time he's a clown in a hospital, by the way,
Not
That-
outside of the hospital
yes,
blowing it up.
we have to keep that in mind.
When he's talking to Two-Face.
Yes, because outside of the hospital, I would probably give it to The Dark Knight because that explosion scene is super memorable to me.
Yeah.
Especially because he played off the error of it not
Right.
exploding.
Right,
but
right. That was great.
that was outside of a hospital. It doesn't
Yeah,
count.
true.
Inside the hospital is still really good.
Yeah.
And it's like I do think about it, but I hate admitting it. I think I think about it overall less than Joker.
Yeah, to be fair, the whole movie of Joker didn't do much for me, but that scene kind of made it all worth it.
I would like it if the whole movie was only that scene. I might be serious. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a terrible movie.
No, it isn't.
But I think we can both agree Heath Ledger and The Dark Knight are both much
Superior.
better in terms of watching.
yes.
But in terms of a clown in a hospital, it's kind of tough. But
It's between Patch Adams and Joker.
I'm thinking it's between Joker and The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Because I think Patch Adams had the noblest intentions.
Yeah.
And that does count for something. But on the other hand, in terms of stuff that I would just want to rewatch, it'd be between Joker and The Dark Knight. Now, in fairness, I haven't seen Patch Adams, but
It's one of Robin Williams' best performances.
here's my question for you as someone that's seen all three movies.
Yeah.
Which instance of a clown in a hospital would you find yourself wanting to rewatch if we had to rewatch something right now?
It depends on what mood I'm in because Patch Adams was really moving, and I believe it moved me to tears at one point because it was so heartwarming and moving.
All right. And
But I don't know. I don't normally go for heartwarming is the thing. I normally go for fucked up stuff.
okay, so that's the thing. Like that's fine that it moved you, but you have to decide what is more valuable to you in a movie, being moved or being
And we're just talking about the scenes, not the whole movie itself. Because if it was the whole movie, I'd say Dark Knight. If I was to say scene, I'd probably say Joker.
Yeah, we are awarding specifically the clown in the hospital.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go much against my wishes. I'm gonna have to give it to Todd Phillips' Joker.
I think I would too. I mean, I'm sure maybe if I saw Patch Adams, I would pick Patch Adams because, but you know what? here's the thing. I like being moved maybe equally to being disturbed. I think they're both really exhilarating experiences, but they both have to be the tops. And I feel like Patch Adams could have been moving, but is it so moving that it's one of the most moving movies?
No, I don't think so.
Where with Dark Knight and even arguably Joker, it's so off-putting. It's kind of up there with the most off-putting movies. I mean, that's because you have a great character, Joker. But even though I like the Dark Knight a lot better, I think I have to give it to Joker 2. I can't believe it.
Wow. Todd Phillips.
Congratulations, Todd Phillips, on your award for Best Clown.
The
in a
only
Hospital.
one you won.
Going to Joker. Well, and unless you include like the Golden Lion or whatever.
Did he win that?
Yeah. He won like
Fucking
the
awards are
big
going to
award
shit.
at Cannes or whatever.
Okay. Well,
I
show us
know.
what those fucking French people. Just kidding. Just kidding, French people. All our French listeners.
All right, but I'm excited for this last award. I think you're going to like it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have all our nominees locked in, but if you can think of other ones, I welcome you to,
Sure.
because it's something that there's probably a good chunk of examples of.
Okay.
But we have most intimidating milk drinking. And so our nominees are A Clockwork Orange,
Ah, yes, of course.
Inglorious Bastards,
Oh.
and No Country for Old Men.
Holy shit, this is a stellar list.
Right?
This is maybe your best category yet.
It's pretty good. I'm
Just
pretty proud
in
of
terms
this.
of all the movies being actually watchable.
It is tough to think of what's the most intimidating, though. Because they're all the characters that drink milk are very intimidating in their scenes.
Yeah,
Because I don't think we can count them outside of drinking the milk,
right.
but they're all intimidating
But using
characters.
the context from previously in the film, that can help determine the intimidation factor of that scene.
Yeah. If I had to pick something, I think I would go with Inglorious Bastards, just because in that scene, as you say, the context, it's really intimidating because you just sense like, okay, something's up here.
And this was the first scene where the guy's hiding the Jewish folks under the floorboards.
Yes. Yep.
Gotcha.
And you're not
gotcha.
even completely sure that that's what's going on, although you kind of suspect it, but then it's confirmed.
Yeah,
And it's
that was rough.
yeah, it's really intimidating.
Absolutely.
The whole thing is intimidating. Now, in No Country for Old Men, he drinks the milk, and it's still intimidating, don't get me wrong. But in that particular scene, it's very quiet. It's
Yeah.
actually kind of a breather in the movie.
Which scene was that?
Basically, Chigurh goes to the trailer looking for Llewellyn,
Yeah.
and he and his wife have already skipped town.
Sure. Gotcha.
And so while
gotcha.
he's there, he's like, "It's time for some milk."
That is exactly what he sounds like.
Yeah. And then later on, when the police get there after Chigurh's left, Tommy Lee Jones is like, "That milk is still sweating. We just missed it."
He's like, well, there's still some left. I better drink it too.
Then
Don't
he-
want it spoiling.
Yeah, then he drinks the milk. Then they leave. Chigurh comes back like, "I forgot my keys." It's like, "Oh, there's still milk." Like, and then gradually they finish
And then
the milk.
Llewellyn comes back. Oh, I forgot something. And he's like, hey, who drank my milk? And then Chigurh's like, sorry.
Then we have A Clockwork Orange. Now, that's the opening scene. And listen, that face,
Very scary.
that's a sinister face.
That's the Kubrick stare. That's iconic.
It's a great stare. And it's in terms of a face, that's definitely the most intimidating.
Yeah, and I think even before you see all the fucked up shit Alex and his gang do to people, just that moment there's something very disturbing about it.
That's true. And if you think about it, in Inglourious Bastards, He drinks the milk before you see any of the Nazis do anything disturbing.
Though
How-
he's a Nazi,
Yes,
so you
I was gonna say,
automatically know.
You have a funny feeling they've probably done
He's
something
not
bad.
stopping by someone's house like, hey, I heard you had nice milk.
This is my first day on the job. I haven't done anything bad yet. Even if he said that, you still know
I'm
that
a
he's
good
going,
Nazi
like,
trying to reform the system from the inside.
Yeah, then you'd have a different story.
Yeah.
But you have a feeling he's up to no good.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that feeling with Alex too, but you can't confirm it as
They just
much.
have really weird costumes on. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
You haven't associated it already with fucked up acts. You just think, oh, these are some weird art school kids.
Exactly. So I think we can both agree these are all just the tops of intimidating milk drinking.
Absolutely.
But I'm feeling that it should probably go to Inglourious Bastards because I just feel that I was the most intimidated by that consumption of milk.
Colonel Hans Landa, I believe his name was.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So, what do you say, old chum? What do you think?
You know, I gotta say, I think I'm right there with you. Actually, from what I've watched that at least 5 or 6 times, and every time that first scene hooks me in with how tense it is, and
Yeah.
that milk drinking is just like it's so human. It almost adds to the weirdness and the freakiness of it.
Okay, that's a great thing to bring up because, well, okay, arguably that was the same thing in A Clockwork Orange too. It's been a while since I saw that movie and I haven't seen it, but I know it kind of took place in, was it the future or just an alternate universe?
Kind of a alternate reality dystopia, I believe.
I think regardless though, the point was drinking milk in our world is considered a pretty chill and inoffensive activity. And
Yeah.
to see someone with that face drinking milk and a bunch of people that clearly look like they're up to no good drinking
Yeah.
milk, it has the same effect as a
Right.
Nazi drinking milk. They're both instances of milk drinking have the same purpose of going, oh, it's like the movie's trying to tell me, oh, calm down, they're drinking milk, it's fine. But everything else is telling me, no, it's not
Yeah.
fine.
Also, Anton Chigurh
Yeah,
taking a break.
it's the same thing in that, too.
He's like the Terminator, and he's a killing machine, and he's taking a break from all his awful murders to have some milkies.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Both, like, you want to think that it's okay to have milkies, but it just isn't okay.
Especially when you're a scary murder person.
Exactly. And I think all 3 of these characters killed people, right?
Yeah.
Alex killed people.
I don't think Alex's wasn't as intentional.
Well, he at the very least did rape, which I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah,
say
yeah,
is
yeah, absolutely. He's definitely.
crossed enough of a
Fucked up.
line,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
So, oh man, I mean, you want to give the award to all of them.
Right.
They tried their darndest with this milk,
But you gotta pick one.
and I think Inglourious Bastards gets it.
I think I don't like giving awards to Nazis, but I think in this case it's unavoidable.
That's true. And think about it this way: we're more giving it to the milk.
The milk is the real star of this scene.
Like it's most intimidating milk drinking, and yes, that does involve the person doing the drinking, but it also involves the milk.
Yeah.
So we can choose to award it to the milk in Inglourious Bastards, but either way, Inglourious Bastards comes away with the award. So congratulations to Inglourious Bastards and to all our award winners for today's episode. That's going to be it for us. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you especially for donating to Drew and to Review. Really hope you enjoyed this episode because I really want to give back to you for giving to me. It means a lot to me. Love your support. Hope you keep supporting us. And Nick and I are going to go off and do
Get some
something
milk?
else. Milk. That's a great idea.
Get some milkies.
Well, I mean, it's probably close to 90 degrees out here right now.
Gonna drink some nice cold milk out in the hot weather.
Well, I was thinking hot milk in the hot weather.
That seems weird.
I want to heat it up.
I don't know if I support that decision.
I think you're going to have to because I have a gun.
Oh, this is an intimidating milk scene.
Yes.